Hello and good night. Welcome to another bedtime story. This story is meant to help you sleep or to relax your mind. Try and find a comfortable place, such as your bed or a soft chair. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes now. Try and let go of the day as we begin our tale. Tonight's story is One Eye, Two Eyes, and Three Eyes. Once upon a time, in a quiet village at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a woman with 3 daughters. Her eldest was named One Eye because she only had a single eye in the middle of her forehead. Her youngest, Three Eyes, had 3 eyes, 2 in the usual place and a third in the center of her forehead. The middle daughter, Two Eyes, was the only one who looked like an ordinary girl with 2 eyes, just like everyone else. But in this household, looking ordinary was a terrible curse. Their mother adored One Eye and Three Eyes for their strangeness, believing them to be special, but she despised Two Eyes, treating her as though she were worthless. While her sisters wore fine dresses and ate delicious food, Two Eyes was dressed in rags and only given scraps. She was forced to do all the work while her sisters sat in comfort. Every morning, Two Eyes was sent out to the fields to tend the family's only goat, while One Eye and Three Eyes remained at home, laughing and feasting with their mother. Hunger gnawed at Two Eyes' stomach, and exhaustion weighed down her limbs. She longed for someone to show her kindness, but in her family, there was none. One day, after a long morning of work, she collapsed under an oak tree, tears streaming down her face. "Why must I suffer so?" she whispered to the wind. "Why does no one love me?" Just then, the leaves rustled, though there was no breeze. A soft voice spoke. "My child, why do you weep?" Startled, Two Eyes looked up to see an old woman in a cloak of silver and green, her eyes filled with warmth. Through her sobs, Two Eyes told her tale of mistreatment and hunger. The old woman nodded and said, "Dry your tears, dear one. Your heart is kind, and kindness should not go unrewarded. Listen well to what I tell you. When you are hungry, say these words to your goat. Little goat, bleat, bring me good things to eat. Then you shall have more food than you could ever wish for. When you have eaten enough, say, Little goat, bleat, take away my treat." And, with a twinkle in her eye, the old woman disappeared into the trees, leaving Two Eyes filled with wonder. Eager to try out the spell, Two Eyes wiped her tears, turned to the goat, and whispered, "Little goat, bleat, bring me good things to eat." In an instant, a table appeared, covered with steaming bread, roasted meat, ripe fruits, and sweet cakes. The air filled with the scent of honey and fresh herbs. Hardly believing her luck, Two Eyes ate heartily, feeling full for the first time in her life. When she finished, she whispered, "Little goat, bleat, take away my treat." The table and dishes vanished as if they had never been, and, for the first time in years, Two Eyes smiled. Days passed, and her sisters grew suspicious. "How is it," One Eye sneered, "that she grows stronger while we give her nothing but scraps?" Their mother's eyes narrowed. "She must be hiding food. Tomorrow, One Eye, you will go with her and watch her every move." The next day, One Eye followed Two Eyes to the field, her single eye gleaming with suspicion. But Two Eyes, sensing the danger, softly sang, "Sleep, sister, sleep. Close your eyes so deep." One Eye's eyelids started drooping, and soon she lay snoring in the grass. Smiling, Two Eyes whispered the magic words and enjoyed her feast in peace. That evening, One Eye returned home empty-handed, claiming she had seen nothing. Their mother scowled. "Tomorrow, Three Eyes will go." The next morning, Three Eyes went with Two Eyes, but Two Eyes, believing she could trick her younger sister the same way, sang softly, "Sleep, sister, sleep. Close your two eyes deep." Three Eyes pretended to yawn and shut two of her eyes, but the third, hidden beneath her hair, remained open. She watched as Two Eyes summoned her magical feast. The moment they returned home, Three Eyes told everything. Their mother's face twisted with rage. "You have deceived us for the last time," their mother shrieked. That evening, when Two Eyes returned to the field, she found her beloved goat no longer alive. Her heart broke. Her only friend was gone. Sobbing, she fled to the forest, calling for the old woman. The air shimmered, and the wise woman appeared. "Do not despair, child," she said. "Take your goat's heart and bury it before your house. In time, your fortune will change." With trembling hands, Two Eyes buried the heart. The next morning, in its place stood a tall silver tree, its branches laden with golden apples that shimmered in the sunlight. Amazed, her sisters ran to pick the apples, but the branches lifted out of their reach every time they tried. Only Two Eyes could pluck them easily. This infuriated her mother and sisters, but there was nothing they could do. One day, a noble knight rode through the village and saw the shining tree. "Fair maiden," he said to the sisters, "may I have one of these golden apples?" One Eye and Three Eyes tried to grab one, but the branches swayed just out of reach. Then Two Eyes stepped forward. The tree bent low, dropping a golden apple gently into her hands. She offered it to the knight. "You are unlike your sisters," he observed. "Why do they dress in fine clothes while you wear rags?" Two Eyes hesitated, then told him her story. His eyes darkened with sympathy. "Such cruelty should not go unpunished. Come with me, and I will give you a home where you will never be mistreated again." With one last look at her cruel family, Two Eyes mounted his horse, and together they rode away, At the prince's castle, Two Eyes was given beautiful gowns, delicious food, and kindness she had never known. She blossomed into a graceful and happy young woman. The silver tree followed her to the castle and continued to bear its magical fruit. Her life of sorrow was over. Back in the village, her mother and sisters fell into ruin. Their greed had left them with nothing. Desperate, they came to the castle, begging for help. Two Eyes looked at them not with hatred, but with sorrow. Despite everything, she offered them food and a place to stay. But One Eye and Three Eyes, filled with shame and jealousy, could not bear it. They fled, never to be seen again. And so, as for Two Eyes, she lived happily ever after, never hungry, lonely, or mistreated again. The end. Thank you for listening to this bedtime story. I hope you enjoyed the tale tonight. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more audiobooks and tales to come. Until next time.